Welcome to the Fanatical Elfz Show, part of the L Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Oh yeah, we are the Fanatical Elfz. This is the Fanatical Elfz Show. That is Steve. That is Elliot. Welcome, guys. How are you on this wonderful Thursday night? Where in the state of Ohio, the Buckeye State, we saw the sun. Yes, the damn sun for the first time in like a week. We love that big orange thing in the sky, and we've been denied seeing that. So just feeling blessed, feeling all that sunshine today. I just took it in. I don't have to do my
Got
D3.
your vitamin D in, did you?
Right, my D3, I didn't take it today. I knew, I'm pleasantly surprised that the sun popped out all day long. How are you doing, Elliot?
What are you talking about? Bill Callahan is leaving the Browns.
No,
You're
stop.
talking about
Happy, John.
sunshine. I'm just depressed. I found out about this 10 minutes before showtime.
Well,
Bill
more like
Callahan,
3 minutes
the
before
offensive
showtime.
line coach of the Cleveland Browns is leaving, and man, I feel like
Yeah, I'm trying to be positive.
No, forget it. This
Elliot's
is terrible.
positively upset.
No, he's only the
Really?
offensive line
Really?
coach. It's not like he's the head coach. It's not like he's the defensive coordinator. It's not like he's the offensive
No, he's
coordinator.
way better than any of those that you've mentioned. I mean, he's kind of on a par with the Sun, frankly.
Well, now he's going to be with
Hey,
his son.
we in Ohio understand that. I got to say that, and you guys know this. I mean, Steve, you live down there in Tennessee. At least you get to see a little bit more sunshine. But living here and then going out and living in Kansas for 25 years and coming back to Ohio, it is just like I don't miss the wind of Kansas, but man, I miss the sun. Ohio is a crappy. I love Ohio, but it is crappy, especially this time of the year. And there's so many people that I see who get, it's a serious condition, the seasonal depression. I'm not making light of that, but it really is a condition that people get that end up living here in the state of Ohio. And I didn't realize that how much of an effect it had until I lived in Kansas for 25 years. And so anyway, Steve, how's the sunshine down there in Tennessee? Not as better.
It came out today. We got up to 59 degrees. We'll be in the 60s the next 3 days. Then some rain. I mean, and probably in 3 weeks it'll snow again. Who knows?
That's right.
But you got to know that Cleveland is the second cloudiest city in the United States behind Seattle.
Yes, and my daughter
I
lives
grew
in
up with that, and it never bothered me. I still have a sunny disposition.
Yes, you do. You're a realist. Elliot's more of a, you're kind of a, I don't know Elliot, how would you describe yourself? Are you a realist or are you just really?
I'm a manic depressive.
Manic depressive. Yeah. Okay. I'm right there with you. But let's just get into this because like Elliot just shared, like literally, here in the Fanatical Elfz, we try to keep up on all the news, but we're bouncing around like everybody else on these busy days. It's a Thursday night and wham, bam, a week ago, we thought Bill Callahan was staying. His son was going to Tennessee, but no, we were assured from various sources that Bill was happy. And then just now we found out that Bill is now leaving the Cleveland Brownies in kind of a move that, some of us thought could happen because it's father son. How are you feeling about it? Elliot, let's start with you. Obviously you're a little bit down.
Yeah, well, no, I think Bill Callahan is a brilliant offensive line coach, and the offensive line, we were playing like fourth and fifth string tackles, and the team survived and made it into the playoffs. I think it's a tremendous credit to Bill Callahan. Bill, if you're listening to our show, I know that you're a regular listener. We just absolutely love and respect you. It's just been a tremendous privilege to watch you at work. I especially really enjoyed watching summer camp, those sessions that were open to the public. It was really instructive to me to watch how the team learns the techniques that are being taught to the linemen. It was really like a martial arts school. It really was. I really learned a lot just by watching. By the way, I do have another news blurb that's breaking if you've got time for that. Or
No, we don't have any time for that. Go. What is
well, the news blurb is, remember how we were gloating that, ha ha ha, nobody wants Alex Van Pelt. Shows you that we did the right.
Yeah, he got hired by the Patriots.
By the New England Patriots. He is now their offensive coordinator. So,
and he's going to work with a rookie quarterback, more or less, because the Patriots have the number 3 pick, I believe.
Well, that remains to be seen. They haven't drafted anybody yet. They might hire, who knows? Jacoby Brissett might be the quarterback. We don't know.
And he's already been there, right?
Well, sign Baker Mayfield.
People back. Like,
no. Oh, there you go.
Why not?
They haven't drafted the rookie yet. We'll wait and see.
Now, I'll say this. I was looking at some different things today. We're going to talk about the draft here in a little bit and free agency, but just to touch on free agency a little bit, wanted your initial take here. They had this projection thing on one of those CBS Sports where they throw out all these names and teams, and whoever wrote this piece was, I think, fascinated with they must live in Florida, because like of the 15 or 20 picks that they showed as far as free agent moves, like it seemed like 5 or 6 of them were of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was just weird. But with the Browns, they did give the Browns Gabe Davis, the wide receiver of the Buffalo Bills.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yards catching, about 8 or 9, 10 touchdowns this year. It has looked good over the years. Has come through big time with the Buffalo Bills and big moments. Wanted your thoughts on Gabe Davis, a kid that I think I've liked watching from afar. And if he is a free agent, would that be someone that you'd like to see come to Cleveland?
Sure.
Yeah.
I personally prefer Tyler Boyd, but it's along the same lines. Going to be a solid number 2. You still got to decide who your number 1 is and what you're going to do with Amari Cooper. So, but yeah, it would take a wide receiver off the draft board, I would probably guess, with Cedric Tillman last year and David Bell the year before. So
Elliot,
that way, Andrew Berry could trade that 2nd-round pick for somebody.
What any thoughts on Gabe Davis, Elliot? I have another question about another wide receiver that's out there.
Oh, Gabe Davis is a thoroughly professional wide receiver. He's sort of a home run threat kind of guy rather than a possession wide receiver.
Yeah.
So just as Buffalo and Cleveland are sort of the same kind of team. We're natural turf, cold weather teams. And I don't know why he wouldn't re-sign with the Buffalo Bills rather than prefer Cleveland. Why is that? Why is Cleveland a better match for him than Josh Allen in Buffalo? Somebody has to explain.
Maybe he likes Ken Dorsey.
Well, these CBS Sports guys that write this stuff, and most of these guys are they're not, I don't know. They just kind of throw a bunch of names up and see what'll, fall to them. I don't know. I mean, Gabe Davis is an intriguing name, but I agree, Elliot. I mean, why would he leave Buffalo to go to Cleveland? They're virtually.
I mean, he might. It might be that Buffalo is phasing him out, and maybe they're not satisfied with him or something.
He's got to be pretty young still, right? Isn't he like?
He's 20. He'll be 25 years old in 2024.
That's right in Andrew Berry's wheelhouse, right there.
Let me ask you this, before we get into some of the free agents that the Browns are out there for us that might be leaving. This whole stuff with T. Higgins? People were trying to throw stuff together yesterday. Like, look at all the players that T. Higgins is following from the Browns. I'm like, what does that have? Like,
that only applies in college. It doesn't apply in.
No, it made no sense
pros.
to me. Somebody was just trying to create a story out of thin air.
Bengals will franchise him.
Okay, T. Hig, yeah. But you like Boyd.
I would think.
You like Boyd.
I love Tyler Boyd. He always seems to make the crucial catch when you need it. I mean, he's an excellent slot wide receiver. He always gets first downs.
Yeah.
And last time I checked, getting first downs is kind of important in a football game.
I don't know, but if I believe that T. Higgins will, in fact, be franchise tagged. because he is a clear number 2 wide receiver
Yeah.
rather than a number 1 wide receiver. And when you franchise tag a guy, is it the top 5 salaries that you get?
I believe it's either top 5 or top
10.
10. It's going to be a high number.
I think it's the top 5, but so the
And
franchise.
I still have to.
I don't know that it's a good investment. I think there's a lot of wide receivers out there that would love to catch footballs from Joe Burrow, and I think that the Bengals may look over the field and find someone that they like.
All right, let me ask you.
Deshaun Watson said on a podcast he'd love to see T. Higgins come to Cleveland.
That's true. Yes.
Well, who wouldn't? Everybody would. Every team in the NFL would love to have Tyler Boyd.
Well, let me ask you. Let me throw some names out. So the Browns have a myriad of players that are free agents. And just wanted your
long list.
Your thoughts on these names. I'm going to throw some names out. Zadarius Smith, Shelby Harris, Hakeem Grant, Joe Flacco, Taki, Marquise Goodwin, Corey, the punter Corey Bozenquez, the cornerback Mike Ford, the running back Kareem Hunt, Rodney McLeod, the safety Maurice Hurst. Who else? We got Anthony Walker, the lineman. List goes on here. Matthew Adams, a linebacker, Jordan Kunchiak, safety Duron Harmon, defensive tackle Jordan Elliott, linebacker Jacob Phillips, tackle Jerron Christian, who we picked up late, tight end Harrison Bryant, tackle Michael Dunn, center and fullback Nick Harris, and wide receiver James Prochet.
Prochet.
So these are most of these guys are free agents. Anybody?
All of them are free agents.
Yeah, I mean they're all. So it's a long list. Do you expect? Are there any names in that list that I mentioned that you think the Browns will try to bring back? I just give you like Jordan Elliott, Rodney McLeod, maybe Mike Ford, the punter, Taki. Yeah.
Well, Horkez. Not that hard.
What about Jordan? Like Jordan Elliott. I know, like our left guard, he's liked him for a while. I like the kid. I think he's progressing from Missouri. What do you think?
He's still young. So that's a good thing. A lot of fans gave up on him, but apparently Jim Schwartz liked him. He kept playing him during preseason games. So of that list, I think they're going to try and bring back Zadarius Smith at a more reasonable number than $11 million. They're probably going to take your choice as Shelby Harris or Mo Hurst. I definitely bring back Taki, Horkez. The two special teamers, Mike Ford and Matthew Adams. Those were Bubba Ventrone signings. I don't know about Rodney McLeod. He's getting up there in age, 32. Definitely Michael Dunn. They always re-signed Michael Dunn. Prochet, he was a very good punt returner. They finally found a solution to their punt returns.
So what about Hakeem Grant? No.
Hakeem Grant has been injured the last 2 years.
Right.
He's
Marquise Goodwin. Another veteran, probably.
Blood clots, older.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh, yeah. No.
How about Harrison Bryant?
I don't know about Harrison Bryant.
Yeah, he was great in his second season, but he has not played as well in his third and fourth.
Yeah, but Elliot, when you look statistically, if you look at all of his seasons, I see a guy that was very, very consistent. You say the second year, but I don't
see him as consistent at all. I see him
his numbers were almost virtually the same every season for the last 4 years.
Well, let's
but he does have inconsistencies. For a guy who started his career as an offensive lineman, there are times that he just can't block worth a lick.
He started his career as an
offensive lineman. I see why they turned him
lineman?
into a tight end.
Oh, you mean his college career? Yeah, when he was down in Florida. He played at what?
You got to block in this system.
Okay.
What's that?
Well, actually,
Florida Atlantic, right? Florida Atlantic, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had 81 yards this season. And actually, though you're right, he was in the 230s year 1, year 2, and year 3.
So he only had 81 this year.
81 this year.
Oh my gosh!
I
So he
felt
did
that he
fall off.
blocked better. He blocked better in year 2 than in
I
year
agree. Right.
3.
So he did significantly drop off. I didn't realize it was so significant.
And let's see. He had. Let's see. I want to get my stat is yards per attempt, and I've got all these wacky stats in front of me.
Okay.
A wacky stat.
Yeah. But or yards per target is what I really like. Yeah, okay. He had the same yards, but he had significantly fewer targets in his second year. So I think I stand by that he had a much better receiving year and a much better. His catch percentage was 75% in year 2 versus 63% as a rookie. So yeah, he did do a lot better. Yards per target was 8.3 as a sophomore, 6.3 as a rookie. So yeah, he was much better in year 2 than year 1. And then he declined in year 3, 5.7 yards per target. And then last season was 4.1, which is really substandard.
Okay.
So he had a terrible year receiving last year. Yeah, 4.1 is.
Well, I blame it on the wedding. The kid got married. Remember
did he marry
about,
Taylor Swift, or what did he
we had this conversation in the offseason. We talked about this. We had 3 Browns who got married in the offseason. I swear to God, this is a factor that plays into these players and how they perform. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about Taylor Swift.
Did he marry a Kardashian?
We'll see here a little bit later.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that after the break.
Yeah, I forgot what did he do I forget. I remember the conversation, but I don't remember what was special about his wedding.
Remember, I have to go back and look at that. But his wedding was very formal more so. He had I know, we had like the list of gifts and stuff. I think we went through that. We had and then I think one of the other guys that we let go this offseason also, Tommy Togiai, he's now gone.
You got that one right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, they had some fantastic wedding registry. I'm on the internet now.
Oh, there you go. That's what I was impressed by. Yes. And Tommy Togiai, I think they kind of just did eloped, and they had it was one of those things where that was the case. Oh, by the way, we got Sam joining us. Sam,
yes, hello.
Hello.
Sam.
Hi.
We weren't trying to ignore you, but
no. You guys were in a conversation. I understand.
All the way from Texas. How's the weather down there? By the way, I want you to know, Sam, here in Ohio, in the Buckeye State, we saw the big orange circle in the sky. We hadn't seen it probably in about 9 or 10 days. So everyone has been dancing and rejoicing, but tonight we're a little bummed out, especially Elliot, because Bill Callahan is now going to go coach with his son, Brian, in Tennessee, and he's heartbroken. We're trying to control Elliot tonight.
I don't know. I think it's interesting, but I'm just excited about free agency and draft.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. I got Sam, since you're the drafty and the expert there, I'm going to throw a couple names out at you after the break just to see how quick
just
you are.
Updated
now listen, Sam is 16 years old, folks. Sam knows everything about everything. And Elliot,
not really. I couldn't tell you how to do a 14. What's the tax forms?
Well, Steve can do that.
Pick one.
Steve is expert text. So here's the deal, folks.
Filing period started on Monday, by the way, but they're going to have to update because they're sending a new tax package from the House to the Senate. They have a child tax credit that will go in effect for 3 years and some business credits. So if the Senate passes it, I'll get a new update overnight.
Wow.
But all the forms are ready. Got a tax return sitting right over here that I got to work on.
Steve is just getting into
a lot of money in those forms.
busy season. Steve is a accountant or tax guy. Elliot
Yes,
is our
I am.
rocket scientist. I'm nobody. I'm just Johnny Cleveland. And then Sam's the cowboy guy with
Oh,
the.
everybody's
I got Maverick
somebody.
You
shirt on
are
now.
somebody.
Mavericks.
Oh, there you go, Mavericks. No.
I don't actually watch them. I just kind of own their shirt.
Well, listen.
But real quick,
yeah,
getting
yes.
back to Bill Callahan.
Yes.
Remember, they interviewed Andy Dickerson, run coordinator, offensive line coach
Yes.
for Seattle,
Yes.
who they were very good at running the ball when he was there. And also Mike Munchak is out there
You mentioned
wanting
that,
to get back into the league. He is a top 10 offensive line coach. Going from Callahan to Munchak would not be a drop off.
Okay. Hey, with that, let's take pause for a quick break here on the Fanatical Elves show, a part of Fans First Sports Network. We'll be right back. We are back here on the Fanatical Elves show. Thank you for joining us, part of Fans First Sports Network. I'm John. That's Elliot. There's Steve. That's Sam. We really need you all. If you're watching us live, thank you so much for watching us. Drop us a comment while you're watching us live. We also need you to download.
Keep it clean.
We need you to download this show on audio, on Spotify and on Apple and everywhere, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. That's where we make our big bucks. We make our pennies, and it's all because of you. But we really need you to follow us. Many of you know I coach on the side, sports, basketball, girls basketball right now over at Licking Heights here in the Columbus area, and was talking to some of my team, my players, and they did not know. Not all of them knew that I was a podcaster by night. Wrote articles, and
they still respect you.
They still
That's
respect
amazing.
me. But it was funny because kids, like Sam, you just get on the Spotify. Are you on Spotify? Well, yeah, I'm on Spotify. Well, what's the name of your group? I said, we're the Fanatical Elves. And so they type us in. They're like, look. And then I was like, yeah, and there's the Johnny Cleveland podcast. Oh, that's you. I said, well, yeah. So now they've subscribed. So now anytime we have a show, they'll hear our voices and they'll just be so excited. And they're following the Fanatical Elfz. So anyway, thanks for joining us and following our programming here. We're kind of in, the end of the season, going into all this free agency and draft stuff, but the Browns have been doing a lot. One of the things that they did this last week was pick up Ken Dorsey as their offensive coordinator. And want to talk a little bit about Ken, your thoughts on Ken Dorsey. Elliot even said something off air about Ken Dorsey and Bill Callahan, but wanted your takes on that. Sam, let's start with you since you just joined us. I don't know if you know much about Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey at one point played quarterback for the Browns, one of the 35 or 40 previous quarterbacks, but we're not keeping track. Thoughts on Ken Dorsey and joining the Browns? And also Alex Van Pelt, Sam, you probably knew this. He's now joining the New England Patriots as their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think this one is a quarterback decision. I think Ken Dorsey, because he played quarterback, he understands the game. I think this is more trying to unlock Watson's excuse me, trying to unlock Watson's like full potential, because we know he can be good. We've seen it before. He's exhibited signs of a good quarterback mentally. He's shown things. He just hasn't performed up to what we know he can do. And he's got the skill set. He's got all those things. And I just feel like Ken Dorsey is more of a Watson signing than everything else signing. I think this is more of a offensive coordinator who's going to elevate Watson and make him perform to a higher level, even if it's not his peak when a few years, like 4 or 5 years ago, when he was like leading the league in yards. Even if we get to 3/4 of that, I think this will still can be considered a good signing. I think this is more of a try and elevate Watson and make him the leader and make him the reason we paid him $240 guaranteed $1 million.
Excellent. Steve.
I like Dorsey. I think he was the fall guy in Buffalo. Yes, they were 5-5, but Josh Allen was throwing the football to everybody, including people in the stands. So you blame that on the offensive coordinator. They were number 2 in total offense when he got fired, the first 10 weeks of the season. So, I think it's a good hire. He knows the Cleveland situation. He knows the city, the culture. He was quarterback coach when Cam Newton and the Panthers went to the Super Bowl. Cam Newton won the MVP that year. And Cam Newton and Deshaun Watson are good friends. So we'll just go right there.
Yeah. Okay. Elliot, you're the conspiracy theorist. Talk about Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, no, I think it's a terrible hire. And no, it is because when they fired Ken Dorsey, Josh Allen got immediately better, number one. But what really concerns me is that we haven't heard a single quote that I can find on the internet from Deshaun Watson saying, "Oh, this is a great hire. I had lots of input into the decision. This is the guy that
I
I
probably didn't."
With." That's the problem that they had in Houston. That's the reason why he basically went on strike, why he wound up essentially leaving the team.
Yeah.
And I don't see any affinity that Deshaun Watson has for Ken Dorsey. There's all kinds of people that are attempting to speak for Deshaun Watson, all kinds of sports writers that claim that they can get into Deshaun Watson's head, but there's no quote from Deshaun Watson. That is bad. It is just bad. I think it's a terrible hire.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's somebody, I think with Browns fans, and I agree, Elliot, to a little bit of a degree, because I remember him playing quarterback the brief time he was here.
That was even more bad.
Like there, and I think just the images that we've seen of him and people, the chatter out there about, Buffalo fans saying this and that one video of him going berserk up in the press box. Just
love it.
Yeah, well, I know. I mean, you can love it, and I
think Josh Allen had just thrown an interception.
Right. Well, Buffalo, the whole thing there, and they really struggled this year, and I'm not blaming Ken Dorsey completely for it. No, we shouldn't, I don't think, but they were struggling. Josh Allen got his turnover stuff together. Or didn't do as much of it, and so we'll wait and see. I think it's just one of those names where I think people are divided. I know, Elliot, you don't like it. Steve and Sam, you're okay about it. So we'll see.
Here's the thing. I've read some. First of all, Deshaun Watson had no input into this, I've been told. Number 2, read some stuff out of Buffalo about when Ken Dorsey got hired, and all the Buffalo beat writers say he should have got a better deal in Buffalo. He got jobbed. He was the fall guy for a bigger problem in the Buffalo offense, and they were all happy that he got another job. And these are guys that cover the Buffalo Bills, so I'll take their word for it over anything else.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk more about Ken Dorsey. We'll have a lot of time to talk about that.
Oh yeah, they're all due in the building in Berea on Monday. All the coaches.
Tony Grossi, the beat writer for the Brownies and 850, he's always making conversation pieces. And today they cornered him on the 850 show and said basically something that we've seen already that Andrew Berry has done is that make a splash, pick up somebody in the off season that no one's really talking about or predicting. And so Tony Grossi suggested that would be the case. Do you see that? Since he's done it before, it wouldn't surprise me at all. What about you guys?
That's his MO.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he does. Browns fans get a little frustrated because he doesn't go out and, right at the time.
So what do the Browns need? Starts. What do they need? Like, what do you think he'd try to make a splash at?
Maybe get a younger defensive tackle they've been looking at. Who knows?
Okay.
They're pretty much set at a lot of positions. but Schwartz loves to run those defensive linemen in and out. I mean,
you wonder if it's going to be somebody on the defense.
Okoronkwo was kind of a surprise, and so was Dalvin Tomlinson. So Zadarius Smith trade was a surprise as
Who
well.
would you want to get on offense? Let's think about offense for a minute, because offensively we got Deshaun, you've got Nick Chubb hopefully coming back, you've got Amari Cooper. Who could make a splash?
I don't know if we have Amari Cooper.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you don't think so?
He's 30 and he got hurt again this year.
Well,
and as Elliot
but
and I will tell you, once you reach 30 and start getting hurt, you're going to get hurt every year. Just ask Jack Conklin.
Okay. No, I hear you.
It's attractive to consider ways to alleviate the salary cap difficulty, and Amari Cooper is one of the guys that they should consider trading, but it's not, but he's so good that you should also consider keeping him. It could go either way.
Yeah.
Somebody want to trade for him?
I don't think that.
Well, we'll know that before the league year starts. With all of a sudden it'll be announced that he was either extended or restructured, and Deshaun Watson will be restructured, and so they can get their cap situation settled before the league year starts.
Let me switch gears here now. Let's talk, Sam, if you're listening here. Draft. Let's talk a little bit about the draft. We're still way out from the draft. We're talking like late April when that's coming around. So we still got February right now, March, and then but it goes fast. And been watching. They had the Senior Bowl. I think that's that game tomorrow night. They're working out some various players. I wrote a couple names down, but one of the things I did look at, they were projecting on the PFF in Cleveland for the second round picks. They had, I just lost it. Hold on. They had the Browns taking their first pick this year is pick 55. Speculation 54. Right now, 54. Okay, yep. This has it as 55. Yeah. So Xavier Worthy, wide receiver, Texas. This is who they have the Browns taking first.
Okay, I don't have him down.
You don't?
No.
He's from Texas, man.
I don't really watch Texas, honestly.
There's only like two wide receivers who are first round worthy. One's
let me give you another.
Harrison,
let me give you another.
He'll be gone by the fifth pick.
They project in this round 5. That the Browns will take a linebacker, Tommy Eckenberg.
Yeah, I don't.
Interesting.
I have my 5th rounds are. I'm not finished with my full projected draft yet, so everything's kind of still subject to change. But
yeah,
I haven't heard of him either.
Yeah, I've heard of him because I live here.
Ohio State.
I've heard of him because we live here in Columbus. They have the Browns taking Brandon Fisk out of Florida State, defensive lineman. Is that right? Braden Fisk. You've heard that name? Okay.
I think he's down at the Senior Bowl right now.
All right, let me give you a couple. This other group has the Browns taking a defensive tackle, Jordan Birch, defensive tackle from Oregon. Does that name ring a bell? In the
Not really.
round? No. Okay. I was watching their show. They had another name pop up today on the Senior when they were practicing down there. Is that game in Mobile?
Yes,
Alabama?
Mobile, Alabama.
Okay, and I think the game's tomorrow night or Saturday.
Saturday.
Another name that I caught was this kid out of Kansas, Austin Booker, linebacker, edge rusher, 240, 250, long.
Very good.
Doing a lot of good things this week down there in Mobile.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I wonder
he'll be in my he'll be in my Senior Bowl article tomorrow for ClevelandSportsTalk.com.
Yeah, I haven't done anything Senior Bowl wise. I probably should go check it out and see if any of the players I'm looking at are there.
Yes,
see if I can find some info on how they do.
Yes,
if you want a defensive tackle that are playing right now, Michael Hall of the Ohio State is.
I have him. Yep, I have him. I have him as a 79.4.
Yeah,
I have him as 79.4 out of 100.
Okay.
Dwayne Carter out of Duke. He's a big kid.
Okay.
But the real big defensive tackle right now is Tavondre Sweat out of Texas.
So basically, for
Kid
me,
is-
he's my number one pick in the second round. I have him at his 87.3 and a green. Green is a premium prospect, should be high target, and 80. What did I say? 87, which is a high valued player who will need some improvement, but can thrive if trained correctly.
Okay.
6'4",
I think he's one of the
pounds.
best options for the Browns right now.
Steve, repeat what you said. We couldn't hear you.
6'4", 360 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And kids from Texas, last name Sweat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's
Okay.
another kid out of Texas,
Uh-huh.
Byron Murphy, the second. I have him at an 86.2, a green
Okay.
also.
How
There
do
you
you
go.
rating? How are you ranking? How did you get that number, Sam?
It's well, I rank each game the players play. I think I reviewed 10 of them. The 10 from the last game to the first game, those 10, and then I divide it. I average it out, and then it falls into whatever my number ranking list is.
What do you average out?
Okay.
The grade each game. So if I have 10 games and it comes out to an 88 on all of them, right?
Yeah.
It would be an 880 divided by 10 is 88. So that's my ranking.
Interesting.
Very.
Cool.
Yeah. So I grade each individual grade, each individual.
I wish I was
individual
16
game.
again and I was homeschooled and I could do that stuff.
I know. I got so much extra time. I got to fill it with something.
But the thing
you
is,
go.
Sam, you're learning math. You're doing math. You're doing science. That's great. I love it.
I had Michael Hall, by the way, as a 79.4. So a solid player who probably will not make much of a difference in year one, but can become a solid starter later down the road.
Cool.
He's a little undersized, but he's fast as hell, and he uses his hands extremely well. Extremely well. So, yeah.
Well, all right. Before I want to finish up with this last topic, the title that you see below you, Taylor Swift, you Swifties.
I don't actually really care much about her.
The world is swirling and we love Taylor, Swifties. I'm in love with Taylor Swift, as all of you are. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are sweeping the world right now, and it's magical, and we can't get enough, and we got to talk about it because that's what we do on podcasts. And look, it's funny to hear the back and forth and people that are talking about fans who don't like the whole thing and then fans who love Taylor. And it's like, I heard numbers like that they saw Taylor for 18 seconds or something.
Yeah, it was like very,
she
very
averages 25 seconds of screen time.
Yes.
Every time they show her 25 seconds out of a 3.5 hour game.
Well, that's 25 seconds I'll never get back in my life.
And the weird thing about it, all these people are sitting there saying, I want to see football. The average time in a 3.5 hour game where they're actually showing football being played, 18 to 20 minutes out of a 3 hour, 3.5 hour game.
Yeah.
Ooh, 25 seconds out of 18
we watched
minutes.
we watched the cheerleaders, we watched the commentators,
they
we watch
the concessions.
They show the coaches.
Yeah.
You know, I want to grab a doll and hold it up and say, hey, show me where the evil Taylor Swift hurt you. I mean, come on, give me a break. I mean, also the Grammys are on Sunday night on CBS.
Yes.
Duh.
Well, there's no football players on the Grammys, so why is there Taylor Swift on the NFL?
Cross promotion by CBS. I mean, come on. So, give me a break. Calm down. I mean, I guess what it really comes down to is I live in Nashville, Tennessee. She was big here before she was a pop star. She was a country star. And before she was a country star, she was a high schooler who would go on local shows and sing. And everybody here in Nashville knew about Taylor Swift before she was a world phenomenon.
Sure.
So it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Yeah.
The girl is smart.
She is, sure.
Beautiful. She's powerful. Get over it. Boom.
Well, it's been fun, and I'm having fun with it. Just trying to get people wound up. That's what I like to do. And it's going.
I think they
into
should
this,
show her for 5 minutes.
but
nonstop.
but literally, it is so funny. Like for me at least, and maybe not you, but as watching this from this perspective, like when Kelsey scored the touchdown, I mean, I'm ready for them to show Taylor like immediately. I mean, that's the draw, and that's the NFL knows that. And wow, so we've got another whole week and a half leading up to this.
I saw a video of a father and like a little girl, must have been 8 or 9 years old, watching the Kansas City Baltimore game, and she goes, all of a sudden they showed Taylor Swift, and she goes, there she is, I saw her. So you're gonna complain about a father and a daughter watching football together? I mean, come on.
I think it's this whole manly thing in football, and
they're not men. They're snowflakes.
Well, right, and I know Colin Kaepernick or Colin, his whole spiel
Colin
about
Cowherd.
that. Cowherd did his whole spiel about that too. Steve, you probably heard that whole 10 minutes,
and he was right.
And I'm not saying he's not right. It's not funny. It's just how it's kind of come to be, and to hear stories also about like Andy Reid talking, the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, how he knew the Swift and Taylor Swift's dad long before Taylor. I mean, knew Taylor because dad was a football player or something. He's done some things in his past that Andy Reid knew of him or knew him personally. I know it was the Philadelphia thing that there was a connection there. That when he was coaching Philadelphia, that the dad was involved in something. So, I mean, we should all be happy. It's just funny because, these are high profile players now. And Travis Kelce, who, he was very popular because the Chiefs have been now to 6 straight AFC championship games. He's just become super popular now. And God, I hope nothing goes wrong in their relationship because the world is going to fall. The world is going to come unglued if this match made in heaven does not work out. I mean, think about it. Think about other past Jennifer Lopez and Brad Pitt. Wasn't that one at one point or
wrong?
No, Jennifer Lopez and who?
Everybody else except Brad.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez,
and then there was Brad
Jennifer
Pitt,
Lopez, and then it was Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, there was A-Rod. That's right. Jennifer Lopez is
A-Rod.
Yeah, that was dysfunction.
Who hasn't Jennifer Lopez dated or been married to?
Everybody except for Brad Pitt.
Us, I guess, right? No.
Yeah, Brad Pitt had Angelina Jolie and Jennifer.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we got a whole week and a half more to soak it all in. Now, let me ask you this final take, and we'll finish with this. I saw the Super Bowl, or I don't know if it's true or if people are just throwing this out there as a joke, but they have the graphic, the logo of this next year's Super Bowl, and supposedly the colors are blue and orange. And this whole conspiracy about how the colors are related to the teams, they already have, because it's already set. The NFL has set these teams in motion, a year ahead of time. So we should have known that San Francisco was going to play the Chiefs or something. Well, we thought it would be the Ravens because of the colors. So do you think do we buy into any of this? And is it true, this Super Bowl logo that's out there that's been roaming the social media land?
No.
It'll end up. Yeah, it'll end up being I'm seeing multiple different not reports, but like people just talking about it. People have it as that is like a light blue is like the Dolphins colors, and then an orange. But then there's other people who are like, yeah, it's gonna be purple and green. And so I don't know if that's the official thing.
So that's probably just been thrown out there. I don't think it's real, right?
No, it
Or is
doesn't
it
look
No,
good
it's
either.
not real.
It's fake.
Boy,
Okay.
I'm sure Raider fans are just loving having their Bay Area rival and their division rival playing at their stadium. That's all I got to say.
Oh, there you go, Steve. Yeah, I didn't even think about it along those lines, but you're right. Raiders and the Chiefs. Oh my God, they loathe each other.
And the Raiders and the 49ers don't get along either. So
it's going to be Lions Browns if it's light blue and orange.
Yep. Well, that's
Confirmed.
what we're.
Lions.
Either
Browns.
way, just wanted your take. Let's just talk before I give you your final takes, or as part of your final takes. The whole Lions, they just choked that game away in the second half, and Dan Campbell passing up on the field goal late.
His aggressiveness is what got them to that game. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him at all.
They didn't have any defense. Just look at their record. They had great offense, bad defense. To trust the game to the defense would be just stupid.
Sure.
He's not a stupid man. So the
That
fact
was
that
like
the fans wanted him to do stupid things because it obeyed the fans' rule is stupid squared.
Final
That's
takes.
my mathematical formula.
Elliot, anything? Final words.
I like Dan Campbell. I like Taylor Swift.
There you go.
There you have it.
That's good. Steve, any final words before we leave?
Super Bowl, looking forward to it. I picked those two teams. So I think right
Way
now.
to go, Steve.
Right now I'm going to lean towards Kansas City. They're the hot team. Patrick Mahomes finally played a playoff game on the road back to back.
Yes.
And he showed he's a real MVP. Lamar Jackson, he fell apart. When things get tough, Lamar Jackson falls apart.
See, and that's is why
a guarantee in life.
And that's something that gives you, all of us here, like, for me, I'm never scared of Baltimore. I'm not scared of the Ratbirds.
I'm not.
And we're probably the only
we saw it
group.
We saw it week 5. They put a ton of pressure on him in the second half, and he only completed one pass. So, there's Lamar Jackson.
Well, the Browns schedule, we'll talk about the schedule coming up in a few months or a few weeks. Also, it's tough, and we can start talking about that as we get into this offseason. But a lot to talk about: free agency, the draft. Sam, what are your final thoughts? I know you're working a lot on that draft.
Yeah, I don't actually have much. Go Browns, but yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of free agency stuff coming up too. Like thinking of free agency stuff.
Excellent.
I like the regular season a lot, but off season is just fun. It's different, it's got a lot going for it. But I'm excited. I'm ready. Hopefully the Browns will probably restructure Watson. I feel like that's a given, or at least restructure someone because we can, we can restructure like what 40 or 50 million total dollars or somewhere around there. I think they'll definitely restructure
around 33. They'll restructure.
Okay, I thought it was a little more than that.
They'll give them 33 million in cap space if they do another restructure.
All right.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely, even if it's just to re-sign some people, I think they'll restructure. But draft, I just am excited for everything, because everything's looking up.
Always is. Hey, and the sun came out here in Ohio. We love the sun. We love you, sun. Come back tomorrow. All right, folks. Yes, Steve.
Andrew Berry and Glenn Cook, of course, are in Mobile, Alabama. Tuesday, they were paying a lot of attention to the wide receivers.
Yes.
Kelly Bronson is a wide receiver coach for one of the staffs, and Efron Branda, our DB coach, is a coach on one of the staffs. So they're getting an eyeful and getting to know the talent. Let's just put it that way.
Well, a lot more to talk about. We'll be back next Thursday on another Fanatical Elfz show. Tune in to the Dog Pound South. Elliot's The Oracle Speaks. So he had one come out today. He'll have another one coming out first thing tomorrow. We got Sam with his Browns breakdowns. I've got your Johnny Cleveland podcast coming up probably tomorrow, maybe Saturday. It's been a busy week, So everybody take care. And go Browns. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.
Go Browns.